Hi there, and welcome to day 19 of Unveiling the Civility Advent Calendar with Buki Odushote. It's the 2019 series, and at the beginning of this series, I did mention that the nuggets this year will be taken from a book by Dr. P.M. Funny called Choosing Civility. We have been talking about the 25 rules of considerate conduct, and today we're on rule 19. But before I go on to rule 19, can I just seize this opportunity to say a very big thank you to you all for watching, for sharing your likes and your comments. Do keep them coming, and if you have any question, kindly pop that on my comment box and I will be right back to you. Thank you. And so, yes, day 19, rule 19. And rule 19 today says, care for your guests. I'm sure we all do have guests, or at some point or the other in life, we've had guests. And so this is quite important to all of us. So listen carefully. All right then. So before I go into the points that Dr. Funny has to raise about being a good host today, I would read the quotes that we've got here, and that quote is by Aeschylus, and it says, "What is pleasanter than the tie of host and guests?" What is pleasanter than the tie of host and guests? All right, so yes, Dr. Funny here mentioned how important it is for us to be good hosts when we have guests around. It talked about the importance of ensuring that your guests are welcome in your homes and that you make them feel as relaxed and comfortable as possible. A few things that he pointed out is, rather than ask your guest, would you like tea or coffee? And sometimes it's a very easy way for them to say, oh, well, don't worry, because they don't want to bother you. You can just say, I'm making tea or coffee. Would anybody care for some, or would you care for some? That way, they're going to think, okay, I'm not having to get them out of their way to do that for me. You just want to make sure that your guest is comfortable. So that's a tip. Or whatever it is that you want to offer them. He also did mention that if you have guests over that you've invited over for dinner, it's not compulsory that you get them to do the tidying up with you. If they do offer to, if you feel comfortable, then why not accept their gracious offering? Also, he mentioned that if you're going to be serving maybe snacks, maybe if your guests are with you for longer, rather than ask, would anybody care for snacks? Why don't you have the snacks available and let them know that snacks is ready and anybody who is interested can help themselves to some snacks. Now, he went ahead and spoke about when you have guests for more than a day, which is about a week or more, or even 3 days, for a longer period. In short, it mentioned that on this occasion, you need to ensure that your guests feel welcomed. At the same time, they're relaxed at your place and they're not uptight, not knowing what to do. Interestingly, he mentioned a story by Dwight Curry, who had an experience of visiting, this was about a book called the Graceful Book, Celebrating Graceful Life. And he said he'd shared his experience about visiting some people who, when he got there, the gentleman had made him welcome from the beginning and told him, my home is your home, my kitchen is your kitchen, my broom is your broom. Of course, he said at the end of it, I'm sure you know what I mean, which is to say, make yourself at home and do feel free to tidy up after you as well, because it might be too monotonous for you to have to tidy up every single thing after a guest, because of course you do have your own life as well. So when you have people staying with you for more than 2-3 days, then of course, please do show them around and let them know where everything is so they can help themselves when that is necessary. He also mentioned about making plans for your guests as well, for games. If if that's something they'll be interested in, but look for something that is of interest to them that you can entertain them with. And if you do need to take time off yourself, it did say let them know, because you also need time to recuperate when you have guests. So your time is your time. Let your guests know what your time is or when it is, and then they can respect that. And also, of course, you don't have to force your guests to do things with you. Find out if it's convenient for them. So rather than say we're going swimming tomorrow, say to them, we're going swimming. I do hope would you like to come? So if they feel like, or if you don't, or let them know if you don't have any other plans, you can come with us swimming. Then that way they know that they are welcome to come with you. And of course, if they do have other plans, they're not feeling obliged to go with you, because then they know it's an invitation which they don't necessarily have to accept. So another thing that he said here that I would love to read out to you is something that was written, or a remark by Anthem Brilliant Savory, which says, to entertain a guest is to make yourself responsible for his happiness. I leave you this evening with that bit, and I do hope that from now, or if you did before, you keep doing it. You ensure that your guest's happiness lies with you. Have a wonderful evening. If you have other tips that you want to share about how you've entertained guests in time past, it'll be great to hear from you. I'm not leaving. I'll see you again tomorrow, but for tonight, it's good night. And thank you, Buki Odushote.